Okay, so as you know, we are talking about mental health here, and I'm sure having heard and seen so many presentations so far by Dr. Violeta, Dr. Barbara, my dear Aarti, and Milos, by now it's clear how much of thought, brainstorming, and planning has gone into shaping this entire year, what we are calling mental health year with eco-civilization. Because I tell you, there were several challenges. Because, first of all, given the sensitivity and relevance of this topic in today's society, we knew from the very beginning that we cannot afford to overlook or underplay any aspect which is akin to mental health. And I clearly remember when we had our first discussion last year, Eleftheria, Violeta, and me, when we were deciding why mental health ought to be, a central theme for the year 2025. And we had countless questions in our head, not just why, what content, what topic that needed to be addressed, how to execute, who would be the right speaker, and so on. However, with the every subsequent discussion, as it happens, that we gained more and more clarity that allowed us to define and structured our path forward. And as a result, we finalized some core sessions focusing on knowledge, insights, and addressing key challenges. So, based on our interest and alignment, we have divided these presentations with my co-organizer. As you know, Eleftheria is one of our co-organizer of these sessions, of course, under the guidance and leadership of Dr. Violeta Wuz. So, to give you an overview of what to expect, I will begin by outlining the key points of all the three sessions that I will be leading. So here I want to show you the glimpses of the first session. The first session, as you can see, the topic is very interesting, very intriguing. That is the foundation of mental health, and which is scheduled for March 26, 2025, wherein we will explore fundamental questions like what is mental health, why is it important, how can we approach it effectively. Of course, it may sound very, very elementary to many of us, but trust us, these are going to be very powerful dialogues and discourses. And to ensure that an authentic and qualitative discussion takes place, we have invited subject matter experts like psychiatrists, clinical psychologists who will bring deep insights into the medical, psychological, and social dimensions of mental health. We hope their expertise will help us better understand how mental health is shaped by biological, environmental, and emotional factors. And this is definitely very interesting and complicated as well, because this session is very, very topical. This topic is very topical in contemporary society. And we always believe that this ought to be brought up in sessions like these. And breaking the silence, the complete topic is breaking the silence, empower yourself to seek mental health support. Uh, as you all understand why this topic is so significant, because this is related with social stigma, which is attached to seeking advice, consultation, and even more treatment. That still remains a major challenge worldwide, regardless of geography. I'm not here talking about country like mine, which is still developing. People are being literate here more and more, and the literacy level is increasing. I'm also talking about developed nation. It still remains uh, a social taboo at a larger level. And the stigma that acts as a barrier that prevents individuals from seeking help from specialists. Besides this, we will also discuss in this session the other dimensions of society and the workplaces, the perceptions that impact well-being of employees, and what steps can be taken to foster a more supportive and open environment. Whether people feel safe to speak up and seek support. We will discuss all these through actionable steps too, because our goal is to encourage meaningful conversations and to promote awareness and break down these barriers. And the third session is it's all about modern therapeutic strategies for mental health. And as you can see in the picture also, this gives you ample idea as to what we are going to discuss. So this session will explore contemporary practices, methods in mental health treatment, including evidence-based therapies, emerging neuroscience-backed interventions, and modern-day digital mental health solutions and holistic wellness practices. Experts will discuss how modern psychology, AI driven mental health tools, and integrative approaches such as mindfulness, nutrition, lifestyle changes are shaping the future of mental well being. This session will also highlight how organizations and individuals can leverage these strategies to build resilience, to enhance emotional well being, and support long term mental health. So I expect that all of you should be ready to dive deep into the sea of knowledge and insight, because somewhere I feel that this is such a topic that touches everybody's life. I mean, I don't want to generalize it, but in my life, I have seen, even in my teens year, I have understood that there are many people who may not want to acknowledge it, but they definitely need mental health. We have seen it in our schools, colleges around us, in our neighbors, even in our families, relatives, that people are not ready to acknowledge that they need help. But there is a need, because it ultimately impacts society, it impacts families, it impacts relation, everything. And on that note, I end my presentation, and I invite my friend Eleftheria to come with her presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Rajni. And Eleftheria, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Rajni. And if you know Rajni, you know that her best talent is giving structure and starting us off on our journey into really diving into understanding mental health from the structural point of view. And then we're going to dive deeper into our journey this year around mental health through another few topics. And these topics really have emerged through my own practice. I studied clinical psychology and then followed my heart in the direction of complementary therapies, because I believe that we're holistic beings. And so in 22 years of practice, what I'm really noticing is that these topics are really emerging for all of us. And I'm speaking to a lot of colleagues in the field, and they're seeing that these things are emerging. So the first topic is women and mental health, a holistic well-being perspective of that, and that will be on the 25th of June. We'll be exploring the unique challenges women face with being diagnosed with ADHD or ADD in adulthood. What's fascinating about that is that a lot of women who have burnout and anxiety are getting diagnosed in adulthood. Part of that problem is that there is a gender bias in the diagnostics, because diagnostics are designed for the very hyperactive little boy, and women internalize that hyperactivity, and then it presents later in years as anxiety and depression. And this is it's a very important topic. Hormones are also related to that. So we'll be inviting an expert in this field to speak to us about it. I do invite all the men to join. This understanding would probably save a marriage or your business. So you are all invited to this experience. Our second topic is on eco-psychology, healing through the connection with nature. I truly, truly believe that if we reconnect with nature, we rediscover our authentic nature. And so we're going to be speaking and exploring eco-psychology, and we'll be speaking some experts and practitioners of eco-psychology, and how this revelation of how reconnecting with nature can transform our emotional well-being, our cognitive function, and our social bonds. The third topic is probably my favorite, personal passion, and that's the power of social circles and healing through community. And I truly believe we're moving as a civilization from self-help to helping others. And in some ways, for me, it's moving from kind of like IQ and EQ to LQ, which is the love quotient. And that we can only do through social bonding. We are a social species. And one-on-one therapy, I love my one-on-one therapy, but there are some things that you get from circles and groups which you can't get from individual therapy. So I think both are really super helpful. But in groups, there are certain things like 2 key issues, for example, which we can experience and heal in groups. 1 is grieving, and 2 is celebration. We can't do that alone. And that is incredibly important for us as a society. So we're going to be looking at the power of social circles. We have some amazing guests that's going to take us through an experience of circle, and we're going to discuss different types of circles that's available and how through community we really can heal. And our 4th topic is going to be cultivating radiant well-being through self-care practices and mental health. I believe in practical tools. And so we're going to be speaking to some experts, and I'll also be sharing with you some practical tools which we can use for everyday life, which we can share with other people, which we can teach everybody. And the one thing in my community and in my own practice, which I've seen over the last 2 years, is balancing and regulating the nervous system is so important. And so there's these amazing tools that we can do. And the science shows us that actually in community or in circles or when we're with other people, that our nervous systems and our heart rate co-regulate. And so sometimes if somebody's in struggle and you can be that safe space for them, your body, which is the most intelligent, advanced piece of technology on the planet, it's by divine design, can actually just be that co-regulation space for somebody else. And we're going to look at the science of that, and we're going to teach you some tools around that. And yes, that is all of our topics. And so we invite you along on the journey, so that we can all just break the stigma around mental health, but also just be safe spaces for one another. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Eleftheria, for this beautiful presentation of yours, also your part. And at the end, there will be a wrap-up session, which I will be moderating at the end, bringing, of course, the speakers together, dear Rajni, dear Eleftheria, and hopefully all of you to see what we've learned, what we will learn throughout the year. But that's not all, because it would be a real pity to lose all this incredible knowledge. So we will do, as we've done for the last 2 years, the topic of the year, mental health, will be a new book that Ecocivilisation will issue in 2026, where you will be able to read all the points of view of our speakers, but there is even more. I'm inviting you, if you're called to share your own story, to share your own experience, please write a chapter and share it with us. In order to do that within the boundaries of the book, here we are sharing also some instructions how this needs to be done. But we will publish this as well on our webpage. So if you're not capturing everything right now, you will be able to see it, or just get in touch with us and we will mail it to you. This book will be published in May 2026, and we have already agreed that a large conference, a full-day conference on mental health, will be associated with the launching of the book. Already in the phase of preparation, we were addressed by many people asking how they can join, bringing forward new topics. And we said, well, instead of just jamming everything into this year, we will address, after we get this year behind, in a holistic way, a one-day conference. We will be hosting one-day conference on mental health issues, and the book hopefully will be just the cherry on the cake. So at this point, I would just like to reinform you again that the next session on mental health is March 26th, as it was already said, Foundation of Mental Health, Why It Matters for Everyone, which will be coordinated by Rajni. And